How can I be on the road too tough but I still cut you with the local tugs?
In this video, I'll draw on the knowledge set down by the ancient masters of hip hop to break down why the man responsible for normalizing women pushing P is Britain's next global superstar and is going from strength to strength. Now you might think, what does this random guy from the internet know about what it takes to become a global superstar? And to that, I actually don't have an answer because that's a pretty good objection, to be fair. But if you're interested in some uninformed speculation regardless, then I'll get to the point. See, rather than drawing on my own knowledge, which is non-existent, I'll draw on the wisdom the masters have passed down. And who's a swoller master than 50 Cent? In his book Hustle Harder, 50 identifies 4 key requirements for superstardom in the rap game: a unique performance style, unique look, compelling music, and light-skin flavor. You see, in the modern age, light-skin memes are fundamental to TikTok marketing, which is why Central largely remains in London, as he relays on Khabib that when he goes into the sun, he turns olive and stays pale in the hood. Nah, I'm joking, of course. Drake has a monopoly on light-skin memes. Instead, I'm going to break down why Central has the other attributes, starting with the look. Anyone with 2020 vision can see why earlier drill didn't exactly have a great reputation for fashion. A bunch of man's not hot hoodies rapping about shanking some dude's mum in a Tesco car park doesn't exactly scream international appeal. Central didn't exactly reinvent the wheel, but he did increase the colour palette. The first thing you'll notice about his early hits and marketing promos are the bright, vibrant colours. See, in this age of social media where anyone can try to become a star, differentiating yourself visually is fundamental. No one starts a trend by following other trends. The same applies to his music and production. People focus on bars and rapping, but this ain't spoken word. Rapping about imaginary, solitary, visionary amalgamations of a generation won't work if your bars aren't matched by delivery and production that marks them out from the competition. Take his mega hit Loading.
Production.
You know, I'm not a music critic, but if you just compare its instrumental to anything popped out by Headie One, you can see what I'm talking about. But even if he wasn't stylistically and aesthetically different, Central Cee has the most important ingredient for success: soul. 50 Cent in his book Hustle Harder argues that the most fundamental ingredient for longevity as an artist is authenticity, because no one can be a better version of you than you. But veering away from authenticity is a common pitfall for artists who feel pressured into adopting a popular persona. The best contemporary example is 6ix9ine. 6ix9ine was a guy who grew up in a poor community at a close proximity to the gangs and violence of New York. But prior to his rap career, he was never affiliated with or conditioned by the true gang mentality. However, despite this upbringing, like many, he felt that adopting a persona was necessary for his career, and he knew these people just well enough to have an idea of how to go about this. He started posing with different gangs, repping their colours and screeching their chants. Did this lead to tremendous success? Yes, but also his girl getting banged by gangsters, a kidnapping, and a RICO case that landed him in prison and put a target on his head that will remain there for the rest of his life. All of this could have been avoided if he, like many others, made the brave decision to represent their true self. He could have had a successful career writing about his struggles as a boy brought up in an impoverished community, stuck between the violence around them and an inner desire to express themselves and better their family. Kendrick does this. Kendrick has made a career out of this sort of introspective approach. Now obviously, especially at the stage of his career he's at, Central Cee doesn't compare to Kendrick. Listen to a single track, you're not getting genius. But he does a similar variant. Through his bars, he reveals the inner conflict and contradictions that consume his mind, on top of talking about the wealth and honeys that come from rapid, extraordinary fame. Ungrateful is the perfect example. In the song, he talks about how despite all the fame, money, and wealth that came along with it, he's still mentally bogged down by a deep sense of regret about his violent past.